So hey guys, we got ourselves an oh-so-wonderfully nice, lengthy, girthy, thick Guild War to get through. So let's go ahead and get through that right now. We got ourselves about, 19 or so minutes, whatever, I forget. But hey, we're going into an Ocean Breeze Luluca, an ae-KARINA, and then a Lone Crescent Bellona. So I immediately made one mistake right off the cuff. I wasn't expecting a counterattack from the ae-KARINA, and because of that, I took a hit. And I also was not expecting my Doris to go before the ae-KARINA as well as before the fucking Lone Crescent Bellona. Okay, so the big thing here is, hey, is this an effectiveness KARINA? Okay, it isn't. So now because we're not dealing with an effectiveness KARINA, and we've already gone once into the ae-KARINA, who doesn't have enough HP to really be that much of a threat, we'll go in, soul burn the S2 with Lethe, go into the ae-KARINA one more time, and this should hopefully give you enough wiggle room and just enough fat to basically tank the hit from the Lone Crescent Bellona. So, shazam! We already got ourselves a nice little heal there, and because Doris already has reduced damage from a dark unit, and Lone Crescent Bellona is not going to be doing any AoEs whatsoever because Elvira's there to pretty much shut out all of the fighting spirit, hey, everything's looking fucking hunky-dory. So, right there was really a mistake on my part. I should have just used the S2 from Doris at the very, very beginning of the match, just to straight up give myself death buff and to give myself healable. I just straight up didn't think I needed it. Too bad. Whatever. Everything kind of works out in the end. And now it's like, oh, hey, cool. Now we have to deal with Truck. So, because Truck Coon comes out, and of course it's going to hit my Lethe because I have no fucking F-res, shazams. So then I also make another bad call. It's not even really a bad call. It's more like a waste of my fucking time call. And I was like, I could go into the Lone Crescent Bellona now, but I was like, okay, you know what? I'll spread some Omen. I'll go to the Ocean Breeze. Then I was like, oh yeah, I don't have a fucking cleanse. So, like, what's the fucking difference? So we're still going into a unit with blind. Okay, fine, fuck it. We'll go into Lone Crescent. Hooray! We don't happen to land a blind hit, so we don't miss. So, so now she's fucking dead. Now all you have left is Ocean Breeze Luluca. And Ocean Breeze Luluca by herself should absolutely give you no fucking problems whatsoever, especially if you have your healer, you have your DPS, and you have your support. So, that's that. And now, onto the oh-so-wonderful fun parts of the video. So hey guys, we're going into some light shit, as well as some Lua. So, first thing and foremost, we brought in Moon Bunny Dominiel pretty much just to fight the extra turn shenanigans from the Lua. However, my dumbass completely forgot, oh yeah! That S3 also does a strip, so we don't have skill null. So basically, I took a free hit on Dark Corvus just for free. Thankfully for me, Proof of Valor being the oh-so-wonderfully broken fucking artifact that it is, I don't really have to worry about that shit. And now I'm really just trying to build up rage for Dark Corvus so he can get his S3. That's mainly why I went into the Landy. She didn't counterattack, whatever. So then here comes one attack. Oh hey, look, it's a salvo. Guess who's ready to absolutely fuck someone's world up? That would be Dark Corvus. And so basically with that, congratulations everyone. We have done the entirety of this fight. So, first and foremost, because we already established that the two light units that are going into Dark Corvus aren't really too much of a threat, and the biggest, scariest thing there is actually Lua landing a death break on Dark Corvus, but that's why Shuna's there. Shuna's there strictly to take any and all punishment from the Lua, who shouldn't be dealing with any death breaks in general. That's mainly why I brought Shuna here instead of bringing, like, you know, two green units. But, like, we'll actually see that fight later on into the Guild War. But either way, we've dealt with the Lua, and then we have two light units going into Dark Corvus. We have two healers, essentially, so we don't really have much to worry about. And hey, looky there, it's the next turn coming up should hopefully be Dark Corvus. We'll deal with Landy, and then we'll also deal with Savior Adin when we get to it. So with that being said, hey guys, did you know that the balance patch information is coming out? So throughout this whole video, I'll periodically go through things here and there, but we'll see how far we can get before we get to the very end. So hey, it's a whole bunch of ML shit. No 5-star RGBs on the list. So hey, let's go ahead and talk about the very first one. So that would be Little Queen Charlotte. Boy, I wish there was a dark unit that did the shit she did, because hey, it's not like we need something to deal with all this light cancer other than Dark Corvus, Shadow Knight Pillis, and forget who the last one is, but like either way. So what's the big thing that they did with her? Okay, so whenever she hits with her S3, that shit has extinction now. Okay, I'm okay with that. Just, you know, more stuff to fuck over dart. Works for me. And then the only other thing that they also gave to Little Queen Charlotte is they changed her imprint concentration to be critical hit chance instead of defense. Which, honestly, she does need defense, but the crit hit chance is actually kind of better, because then you don't have to go, like, pin set, immunity set, and crit set. You could probably have a little bit of wiggle room to actually go into something crazy like a crit damage set, and then also a pin set. But, of course, that's neither here nor there. You also kind of need the immunity set. Either way, this opens up options so that you can do other stuff. And it looks like we're done with this match. So when we come back, because we're going to be using Dark Corvus again, and it's oh so wonderfully boring horseshit, we'll get to that in just a second. Oh, wait. It's right now. So, it's a Conqueror Lilias, and then a Savior Adin, and then also a Navy Captain Landy. Quite literally pretty much the same shit, except now we're not dealing with a death break. So, because there's no death break, and there's no strip going off, hey, looky there, this does no fucking damage. Yay! Now we pretty much just waited around until we eventually get to our turns, and then we kill a unit. So, for this in particular, we are going to get to our Devil's Descent way, way fucking faster than we're going to actually have access to 10 souls. So because of that, our first target is to pretty much go into the Savior Adin, which is pretty much what we do on our next turn. And Roana's there pretty much because I wasn't intending to go into the Navy Captain Landy immediately. So like, hey, bring on the salvos, bitch. I don't give a fuck. And yeah, Moon Bunny's there once again just to deal with Conqueror Lilias turn 1 shenanigans. That's pretty much it. So hey, we'll go ahead and we'll boost up here. Hey, looky here, it's the demon devil himself, Dark Corvus's turn. Time to go into Savior Adin. Let's kill that bitch. And now all you have left is Conqueror Lilias and you have Navy Captain Landy. And then with those two there, they're both going to hard focus go into your Dark Corvus. You should have souls at that point. By that point, just go into Navy Captain Landy when you can. Now right here, I was like, okay, so just in case this Navy Captain Landy is built like a thermonuclear fucking tank and hits me really hard, we're going to have ourselves a revive buff from the Roana as well as some pretty big barriers. So let's see what we get. That's actually not too bad. So that goes into us. I'm not too worried. And any and all salvos, or just, you know, extra hits like that, hey, looky there, Roana's healing. And now we can soul burn, go into Navy Captain Landy, and then eventually when your turn rolls around again, you'll just kill the Conqueror Lilias. So real quick, let's go into the next character. So hey, top Model Luluca is also on this list. So basically what they did, they got rid of the soul burn on her S1, they changed her S2 victory pose, so now whenever she uses her non-attack skill, she gives herself a barrier, which is basically like Peyra's barrier, so it's a big thick barrier based on the level of the character. And then for the last thing that they did was they gave it so that she had attack buff, that she gives herself attack buff on her S3, so she no longer has to use her S2 into, like, you know, RTA shit like that, and she's not fucked over by things like Politis and Selene. But basically, now she really has a more offensive role, and that barrier is really, really quite thick. And other than that, oh yeah, and they also put the soul burn on the S3. So now if you have souls for it, you do big fucking damage. But that's pretty much it with top Model Luluca. So, hey, let's move on to the next match. So right here is a Rimuru, a Ran, and then also a Lionheart Cermia. I went into this pretty much expecting, oh, okay, cool. So this is Ran, and it's Rimuru. It's not Conqueror Lilias and Rimuru, which is actually one of my favorite formats to go into. But, hey, we get fucked up really, really hard by that opening cleave. We have Holy Sack, so just in case they were actually able to kill us, we would still be coming back alive with full HP. And hey, looky there. That Lionheart Cermia is fucking dead. So we don't even have to worry about Lionheart Cermia, because I was essentially expecting I was going to be tanking one hell of a hit at the beginning. Thankfully, I didn't die. But then, of course, here comes Rimuru's turn. And then it's a matter of, are you DPS, or are you just annoying? And honestly, it might be DPS, but it really wasn't doing as much as I was expecting. Because the HP value on the Rimuru isn't really even that impressive as well. So, okay, we'll just start going into stuff willy-nilly until we eventually get to Laia's turn. Laia was here strictly just as a form of, like, hey, CR push after the Rand's turn, and also to cleanse any and all death breaks and stigmas, all that other kind of bullshit. Because you know me, man. Anytime Rand's going to be going into your green units, he's always going to fucking crit you. It just always happens. Like, watch right here. I'm pretty sure it happens right here. Let's take a bet, boys. Does blue beat green? 50-50. It hit one of them. But either way, So right now, we're still really just biding our time until we eventually get to the S3 that's on Laia. So the big thing that's really, really cool about using Laia and Destina is the fact that they both complement each other extremely well, especially with the existence of the cooldown reduction that's on Laia's S2. So you can do shit like regen S2 into Laia S2 into regen with Destina yet again, which is why I really, if I had the spare gear and it was really good gear, I would absolutely use something like regular green lots with Laia. I think you could probably do some fucking nuts shit with it. But either way, we got our Laia S3 off. We killed the Rimuru because the Rimuru was not really rocking a lot of impressive HP. And right here I was asked a question like, hey, were you aware that you were hitting into this skill null? Yes, I was 100% aware because, well, if I didn't have that barrier, he would be fucking dead. That was the biggest reason why. And of course, I mean, hey, there could have been a matter of, hey, R and L could have procced, and then he could have gotten an extra turn, and he could have hit me anyway, you know, shit like that. But hey, it all works out. We don't die. So then we just use the big S3 for the healing perspective of it, and then we'll push him back. Hey, looky there. It's Laia's turn yet again. God, that S3 is so damn good. Anytime you kill with that S3, you gain it back so fucking quick. And that is that.
The light will always win.
And now another Dark Corvus match, except this one goes a lot faster than the other one. So basically, if you remember, this is the exact same team that we fought the first time. Now, we don't have Shuna here with us this time, basically just to showcase the fear of, oh, I could get hit by a, like, you know, a death break at any moment. But either way, we have Laia here, who's also going to straight up counter the first turn from Lua. So you don't need Moon Bunny if you also have Laia. So then that way, you don't really have to worry about your skills getting reset and then just everything being just the worst shit in the fucking universe, because you're always going to have access to that S2 unless you're going into multiple cooldown reduction shit. Which, straight up, hey guys, did you know that Requiem Roana is also on that balance patch? And it's actually pretty fucking good. So basically the first big thing with Boundless Obsession, which is a S2, anytime a unit in the first row takes a turn, she then, you know, gains 100 CR push. So basically, that will no longer be activated once per turn. So if you're dealing with CR manipulation effects that are affecting it, then she will get that turn if, you know, you take that turn twice. Like if it was ran, S2 and then S3, bam, it's Roana's turn, no matter what. And then the other thing is her S3 now dispels a buff. That's kind of scary from a cleave perspective. And then the other thing is they got rid of the ramp-up effect of the skill because she's a cleave-based character. You're not going to be using that skill multiple times. So now they made it so it does more damage. That is actually kind of fucking terrifying. And I don't know how scary this unit's going to be. Case in point, imagine if this was Lua and then also Requiem Roana. That would actually fight Laia. So I don't really know how to feel about that yet. We'll fucking see. But either way, after we killed the Navy Captain Landy, and then we killed the Lua, all you had left is save your Adin. And the one big thing that was kind of scary that happened was we had Death Break on us at one point on Dark Corvus, but because Proof of Valor is such a mega-based artifact, and we have a Reviver with us, as well as 2 forms of cleanses, we're fucking good, baby! And now on to the last match here. So this one is kind of dragging, but like, hey, I couldn't think of anything else to really throw at this. It's an ae-KARINA, a Ocean Breeze Luluca, and a Abyssal Yufine. Now, the big thing in particular when you look at this is just it's a whole bunch of fucking death shit. Everything in here has really, really thick, annoying-ass death. So I was initially wanting to go through this with things like Watcher Shuri and things of that nature, but of course, you don't know if you're dealing with a Holy Sack Abyssal Yufine. Guess what? This one is on Holy Sack. But of course, also looking at this team, I then made the realization that, well, they shouldn't have any injury. So if there's no injury, I'll just go in with Lethe yet again. So right here, I initially was going for ae-KARINA, but then whenever I saw that S3, I saw, oh, she has 21,000 HP. And I did enough damage to the Abyssal Yufine, so now it's like, well, I know I'm not going to kill that now. So, okay, fuck it. Let's go ahead and deal with the Abyssal Yufine now, so that if Abyssal Yufine does have Holy Sack, we'll kill it with Lethe, which also does extinction-related damage, and then she'll be gone. And if I just so happen to lose Elvira for any reason whatsoever, we've dealt with the threat, we should be good to go. So, let's see if we were right.
Just a waste of my
Are you Holy Sack? Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure I already spoiled it, but yeah, she was Holy Sack. So now that the Abyssal Yufine's dead, if we did lose Elvira, it's not the biggest, it's not the end of the world. But it is also still kind of concerning if you did have, say, ae-KARINA going into your Lethe and hitting you with shit like Death Down. That shit does a lot of fucking damage. It's kind of ridiculous how wall-like ae-KARINA is and how much fucking damage that she does, who really only has, like, one bad matchup, and that's, like... It's basically Laia is basically like the one bad matchup. It's anything that Death pierces. So right there, I knew I wasn't going to kill because she just has 21,000 and some change HP. It's almost 22k. So then I was like, okay, well, fuck it. I'll just go into her yet again because right now I have access to my Roana S3, which is going to give me Revive, and I'll just throw that onto Elvira because she has one turn of immortality remaining. Sure, she has tons and tons of ER, so she's not going to be affected by Death Break or whatever, but she is still kind of made of paper. And if you have that one turn where you don't have access to your immortality, it's kind of scary. But either way, hey, extra hits going in. Those are free heals on Roana. We don't happen to be hit by any fucking blind effects on Lethe, which honestly doesn't even fucking matter at this point, because even if we were to miss on this ae-KARINA, yo, she's fucking dead. Like, no way, no shot. And we have enough soul burns, so we can just soul burn the S3, go ahead and land Omen on everybody, get an extra turn, go into the ae-KARINA yet again, and Shazams, boys! Now we can just straight up go into the rest of the team. And yeah, not all you have left is Ocean Breeze Luluca. And because Ocean Breeze Luluca's left, and we have all of our support as well as our DPS, she can't fucking win. Now, the other unit that is on the balance patch, I think I can get this one off real quick, is Clarissa. Basically, if you don't remember who that is a blue 4-star. Basically, she just does more damage and has a higher death rate, or death break rate. Okay, cool. And yeah, that's basically it with Clarissa. Like, yeah, she's a Wyvern unit, does more damage, and I think she resets skill cooldown based on if an enemy is defeated. I don't know if that's like Dingo, where it's just passive, or if it's based off of killing with the skill. We'll see whenever it comes out. Now the big one right here. So, hey, Falconer Kluri. Falconer Kluri got a change to one of her runes. So instead of doing more damage based on how like the proportional rate of her defense, she now does resource reduction, and this reduces it by 40% when using Light Step on a caster's turn. That's actually pretty big. So resource reduction only on the caster's turn means that, like, dual attack shenanigans aren't going to work. But hey, this is still going to be something that goes into focus-based characters as well as fighting spirit characters, because we straight up don't have enough fucking resource reduction. It just straight up doesn't exist in the game. And then another thing real quick is the Victoria's Flag artifact that recently got buffed. Basically, instead of doing RGB shenanigans like Elemental Advantage and all that other shit, it deals more damage by 16% and you reduce damage taken by 16%, but the catch is it can still only be used on RGB units. And the rest of stuff is Rage got buffed. It's 2%. It's 2 times better. Does 20% instead of 10%. And the only other things are a bunch of constellation changes on mages. And I'm not going to go into all of them because it's quite a bit. But the big one in particular for me is that Auxiliary Lots just straight up gets more speed. And he loses his crit because he didn't fucking need it. And he gains HP. So hey, works for me. So hey guys, if you like this video, go on ahead and leave a like. If you want to see more of my content, go on ahead and hit subscribe. Have a good one. Later.